I am $2,500 away from being debt-free, and I am frightened about that. Howdy, Fi guys. I'm writing to share with you a significant moment in my life. Congratulations. We do love significant moments. Now let's see what that's about. I'm 34 years old, and I'm on the verge of being debt-free for the first time in my adult life. Yeah, buddy. The journey has taken 2 years of hard work and sacrifice to recover from the reckless spending that put me into this debt. I am now just $2,500 away from clearing my debts, a feat I can achieve in a month. That's pretty solid.
Wow.
So he's
$2,500 in 1 month.
That's pretty solid.
That's a
Good
killer.
savings.
Nice.
However, instead of feeling elated, I'm feeling fear and uncertainty. Unfortunate. The idea of being free from my debt should be liberating, but I feel lost. For a long time, my financial life revolved around making payments and reducing my balance. Now I'm unsure of what to do next. The thought of me having disposable income is both terrifying and exciting. Without the structure of debt repayment, I worry that I might revert to old reckless spending habits. Oh, the freedom.
There's an old saying that I like. If you're worried about it, you don't have to worry. If you're not worried about it, you should be worried about it.
Dude, quote of the day right there. Quote of the day. The freedom to spend as I please feels like a double-edged sword, offering new opportunities, but also the risk of falling back into debt. As I make my final payment, this month that is, I remind myself that this is a new beginning. It's a chance for me to build a healthier relationship with money, and also to create a financial plan that prioritizes stability and growth. With mixed emotions, I step forward, hopeful, but still nervous about what lies ahead. Have you or anyone else you've worked with felt this way? Am I unique in this regard? What did you do after becoming debt-free? Let me tell you. What I do. Here's what I do. I go to my favorite. Listen, you know where this is going. If you've watched any of our channel, I'm going straight to the best pizza shop in town. I'm getting myself a meat lover's pizza, and I'm macking down. I'm enjoying it. I'm filling up. Okay. We're driving then to the next ice cream shop, getting the best ice cream. Celebrating. We're celebrating, really. That's what me personally. Some people like to go to the clubs. Some people like to drop money on a new Rolex. I'm telling you, a stuffed crust pizza with all the meat on it, that's where my heart lies, and you can't change that. Me personally. But who's this from? This is from Finance. Finances is tight. Future bright. My freedom's near. Why am I feeling fear? How about that?
It's a good one. Did you know? So I know you love ice cream. They're opening a Handles down the street from where I live. You don't know if you've ever been to Handles. Handles is a San Diego-based ice cream place, which is bomb. Yeah. And they're opening one right down the street from me when you don't live too far from me. So I would recommend when they open it, they have a Cookie Monster one, which is like blue. Dude, it is good. And I normally don't like chocolate.
Dude, I'm telling you, if we don't post next week, you know why. We're going to Handles, boy. We're going live. A live pod at Handles.
It's because Dominic is in a...
It could happen, man. It could happen. Don't count your chickens. It could happen. You never know. I will definitely look into that Handles. I will definitely look into that.
Yeah, no, it's good. Right down the street from me. So first off, to our writer, congratulations, man. Like, that's so cool to have paid off. I don't know how much debt you started with, but if you're making $2,500 payments a month, like, you must have been going ham at getting this thing dealt with. So I'm going to guess it was probably a pretty big amount that through hard work, dedication, keeping your head down and just sticking to the plan, right? I make money, I spend less money than I make, and I'm putting all that money, that gap, towards that debt and just trying to feed it as fast as I possibly can and get rid of it.
Absolutely.
What I think about this is, and I've talked about it before, and I keep on trying to harpen back to it, is that money is highly emotional, and sometimes emotions are completely illogical, right?
Everyone.
Your
emotions are highly illogical. Your whole argument is baseless, man. Okay. I keep that away from the wife with that one. The mother's it. Okay.
But sometimes emotions can be illogical, right? Like, 'cause you would think for 99% of the people, they would think, I'm about to be debt free. I'm on top of the freaking moon. But she feels fear, or he feels fear. I don't know. They feel fear going into this because now everything that they've structured their life around, which has just been paying debt, and getting so attached to watching that number go down. Now that's going to go away, and they're afraid, might I put myself inside the same situation? Like I said before, if you're worried, you don't have to worry, because you're going to take the conscious steps to avoid that catastrophe. If you're not worried about it, that's when you need to worry. Typically what I find, people that put themselves into this huge amount of debt and they realize it, and then they go through the arduous process of getting themselves out of debt, will be very cautious to put themselves back into it. I'm a perfect example of that, of like not going into debt because you know what it can do. But people, unfortunately, that get into debt for bad reasons, declare bankruptcy, think of it as a redo, often will end up in debt again. And of course, I'm going to nuance that with not everyone who's going into debt, who's going into bankruptcy, is doing it by running up their credit cards and being stupid.
No,
That's
no.
not, majority of them is because of medical debt.
No.
That's the majority of people. But for our listener, instead of feeling addicted to watching the balance of your debt go down, we get to have a new addiction where we get to get addicted and be happy to watch our investment balance go up. And I think that's way cooler, because when you go down, that's great. You can eventually reach zero and you won the game. You're done. But when you have that, I'm investing to see how much my money can grow to, that's an infinite game. It never ends. You can set it as 1 million, 10 million, 1 billion, trillion, whatever you want it to go. And you can keep on having more levels of fun. I'm going to say that more levels of fun, the higher you go, it's diminishing returns. Over maybe $150,000, it doesn't really much matter, but up to you on what's going to be most important to you. So if I was this person, I would break it down to the 9 steps that we use. So number 1, hopefully this is already done because you're already paying off the debt. Do you have your deductible covered? Do you have an emergency or a crisis fund that covers your highest deductible? If your health insurance deductible is $2,000, it's $2,000. If your car insurance is just $1,000 and your dental insurance is $1,000, then we're going to have $2,000 in a crisis fund, which I like to have in straight cash, because if it's in straight cash, you're far less likely to spend it unless it is a true crisis. Step number 2, we want to get that employer match. Hopefully you've already done these 2 things. We're still getting an employer match. If it's 3%, 4%, 5%, that's 100% return on your money. So if you're eligible for a 401k. Step number 3 for the financial order of operations is pay off high interest debt, which you're about to achieve. So that's awesome. Once you achieve that high interest debt, and high interest could be dependent on whatever it is that you think is high interest. I say anything over 9% is high interest, maybe 7 depending on who I'm talking to. But credit card debt, always high interest. There's no good credit card debt. Get rid of that. So once that's gone, now we're going to make sure that we have an emergency reserves, 3 to 6 to maybe a year's worth of money available in a high yield money market account or a high yield savings account, maybe even like short-term bonds. Remember, that could be volatile, but you want to have money reserved. After that, we can start maxing out our Roth IRAs or our HSAs if we're eligible for one of those. So again, instead of just watching the money go down, watching the debt payment go down, we're now starting to get to see our money grow by putting into the market, putting into our traditional, our Roth or our HSA. And if you don't know what those mean, please reach out to me. I can explain those to you, or listen to our previous podcast, because I'm not going to go into that right now. But you can put money into these accounts and then invest them in something like the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, the Dow, a wide sweeping market index. Because if you don't know, if you're not paying off debt, I'm going to assume you're not going to be the next Warren Buffett. And maybe you could be the next Warren Buffett. That's going to take a lot of time and dedication. Rather than waiting to invest until you have all the right information, sometimes it's better just to get started. And getting started, if you don't know what you're doing, the best way to do it, in my opinion, is just use a broad market index and just bet on America or whatever index that you're going to go on. And I say bet on the biggest horse, which is the S&P 500, and just let it do its thing. After we are maxing out our Roth IRA, we get to max out our other retirement. So maybe if we have an HS or the 401k at work, max that out if you can. After that, you can choose to, after you reach 25% or 25% of your income, or you max it out, you can choose to hyper accumulate. So you can save money in non-qualified accounts. I love saving money in non-qualified accounts because unlike saving money in my qualified accounts that have special tax advantages, when it's in a non-qualified account, I can pull that money out at any time. I don't have to wait till I'm 59 and a half. And if you're pursuing the path of financial independence, you don't want all of your money in qualified accounts, because ideally, most people are reaching financial independence at 40, 50 years old, maybe even 30. And if all your money is tied up in qualified funds, well, now we can't reach it till we're 59 and a half. And we really can't call ourselves financially independent unless we're going to be doing Roth conversions where we're contributing all to traditional and then converting to a Roth, waiting 5 years. But again, that's high level tactic that you need a financial advisor like myself to help you walk through. Don't try doing that on your own. You're going to shoot yourself in the foot. If we get to hybrid accumulation, you can choose to start prepaying future expenses. Maybe a 529 plan for your kids. Start saving up for future weddings for your kids. Save up for a big vacation that you want to have. And then after that, we pay off all low interest debt that we have. Maybe we want to pay off the house. Maybe we want to pay off any personal loans that we have from somebody. But at that point, you are completely financially independent. Do what you want with it. But remember, the biggest thing is you've grown addicted to watching the balance of your debt go down. Now we need to switch that mind shift to getting addicted to watching your balances grow in your investment accounts.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a new and exciting game to play. You know,
it is. Yeah, you're moving to a completely different game. But what I would preface our listener to do is don't just get addicted to watching your savings grow in a savings account.
No. Yeah, no.
You cannot save yourself to retirement. You have to buy assets. And what assets you choose, whether that be real estate, stocks, bonds, whatever it is, whatever is right for you is right for you. And we've done podcasts on every single gamut at this point. More continue to come. Whatever you choose, you want to buy assets. You want to buy things that put money in your pocket. Having money in a savings account might put a little bit of an interest in your pocket, but it's so minuscule compared to what you could get by investing in higher returning assets. You want to make money while you sleep. The best way to make passive income is to buy assets.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you're not going to beat inflation with savings account, right?
Typically you're not. No, because the only time that a high yield savings account is going to be high is when inflation is high. For example, right now, high yield savings 5%. Accounts 4-5%. Inflation 5-6%.
Yeah.
You're always losing to inflation. That's why you want to buy assets.
Yeah. Simple as that. It's simple as that.
So to our listener, big hugs from Arizona. Congratulations again on paying off all your debt. $2,500. You're almost there. Please, once you get that, celebrate the wins. Go out, have fun, have a party, go eat pizza, do whatever you want. Handles. Have fun, but make sure that you set up a budget for how much fun you can have and just stick to it. Again, if you're worried about it, you don't have to worry. If you're not worried about it, you should be worried. So you're going to be just fine. Stick to the 9-step process. If you don't know the 9-step financial order operations, please go to episode 44 of the Fi Guys, where we discuss all of those options for you. And we're here for you. Send you big hugs from Arizona.
Good luck,
man. You got this.
This video podcast is sponsored by Mons on Wealth. The content in this podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be considered financial advice. We do not endorse specific products or services. Past performance does not guarantee future results. The opinions expressed are those of the host and guests, not the podcast sponsor.
It is crucial to consult with a qualified financial advisor or professional who can provide advice tailored to your specific needs before making any financial decisions, investments, or taking any other actions. If you are seeking specified help, you can reach out to Chris at monsonwealth.com.